Right guys, so welcome to trying to get my first ATP point. It's going to be my second main draw match of my entire career. Having won the wildcard tournament, I got a main draw wildcard, which means that I'm going to be playing in 2 days' time in the main draw. If I play like I did in the last video, I've got a damn good chance of getting that point.
The day after my match, it was time for a full rest day to enjoy the win, and then it was back to training. I'm someone that likes to get in the gym as much as possible, make sure I'm training, feeling strong for my match to come. I wasn't sure whether it was going to be on Tuesday or Wednesday, so I wanted to make sure I got in a gym session to make sure that if I was playing on Wednesday, which I eventually did end up playing on, that I was feeling good, and I had a day before to prepare. Then it was time to practice with Miles, who I actually played in the qualifying of the pre-qualifying tournament. So we were just working on playing some points. I always like to play some practice matches in between my rest days just to make sure that I'm playing that, points tennis with serve and, with return, because that's essentially what you're going to be playing in the match, which I think is super important. On match day, I made sure to stay hydrated for breakfast and had some protein oats with the Sint protein, which tastes unreal, which is also super good digesting, some eggs, some bread, and some grapes in there as well, and some fruit. So keeping it nice and light, a lot of carbs. I knew I'd be playing, and then it was time to practice.
Yes guys, so we're here at the practice court. Obviously day of my match. I'm actually very excited. Of course, the opponent that I'm playing is very strong. Hopefully I can perform to the best level and really make use of this main draw wildcard. Of course, it's only my second main draw match ever in my career, so I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm going to hit for about 30 to 40 minutes with Lucien, really get a groove, and then warm up later at 5 o'clock because I'm on not before 6. So yeah, like I said, just getting a good warm up, feel the ball, and yeah, really get excited for later on and just fight for every point. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes guys, so it's about 4 o'clock, 2 hours before my match. I'm going to quickly jump in the sauna, have a shower, freshen myself up. I'm having also some like amino energy stuff, which has like some electrolytes and caffeine and stuff in it as well, just to get me prepared. Then we're going to head to the club, we'll warm up at 5 o'clock, and then just go out on court and fight. We got to the site about an hour before my match, did some practice. I was hitting with Noah Lopez, who's actually a Swiss player. He also had a match at 5 o'clock. So I was just going to hit a few balls, feel my rhythm. I was feeling pretty decent, and yeah, get ready for the match mentally and physically.
Yes guys, before we take a look at the second set, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Fuzzy Yellow Balls. Now you guys have heard me talk about them in the past. The Fuzzy Yellow Balls have a singles playbook which runs through all of the plays that you could possibly need to beat your opponent in tennis. Now they have a table of contents which allows you to easily choose what you want to work on. When you've picked out what page you want, have a look at the strategy. It even has a QR code in the top right hand corner which has Will from Fuzzy Yellow Balls explaining exactly everything you need to know so you're not confused. Now not only do I use it to figure out how I want to beat my opponent, but I'll also use it to figure out how opponents will beat me. And by reverse engineering it and being smart about it, you can figure out how to get the most out of it to win on the tennis court. So if you want to go check out the singles playbook, I'd highly recommend it. There'll be a link down in the description where you can go and check it out. And now let's go back to the video.
So my first round opponent was Martin Pawelski, a Polish player who's actually already top 500 at 18 years old. He was top 20 in the junior rankings, making semis of French Open. He was also a champion in 25k 2 weeks ago. So this guy has, a lot of achievements already in his tennis career, and it's potentially the next Hubie Hurkacz. So he's an absolute beast on the court. You can see he's huge. Was also the seed number 4 in the main draw of this 25k. So I didn't get a great draw, but nevertheless, I wanted to fight. I wanted to make sure that I was, using this opportunity as good as possible. I had nothing to lose. I know that I have the game when I play good to battle these good players and put them under pressure, and that's exactly what I set out with the intention of doing, making it a little bit tricky for him with the slice and the backhand, giving him something that he's not really used to. But this guy had an amazing serve. This guy would just bomb down ace after ace after ace, making it pretty difficult for me to get in a point even on the return. So I knew how important the serve was going to be, to just hold my serve, put a lot of pressure on him, and really force him to maybe give me a few opportunities in his service games. Those first 2 service games really settled the nerves, taking them. I wasn't worrying too much about his service games. I was focusing more on my own. But yeah, having those 2 service games in the bag really, cut down the pressure on my part. I went into this match saying that I want to enjoy it from the perspective of I don't play many of these matches, and hopefully I will play more in the future, but I really want to enjoy playing in this main draw match, having an umpire, scoreboard behind even, and really taking in the whole experience. Of course, I'm there to win. I was focused, I was locked in, take the first 3 games on serve, but I also didn't want to kind of stress myself out too much about it, because obviously I'm the massive underdog. I have no pressure on paper, and I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself to try and get a result because I'm chasing this 1 ATP point. I know that this ATP point and many more ATP points will come in the future if I can keep playing this level of tennis, developing my game, and that's obviously the overall goal. So just enjoying the match, really enjoying battling an opponent like this was really great after 5 long matches earlier on this week to get rewarded with a match like this. You can see his pinpoint accuracy on the forehand side was crazy, serving really good, putting it in really awkward positions for me to play, and that shot even landing in the baseline. This game here at 4 all, a 15-30 point, this point is absolutely crucial, and the ball just chicks up and I end up shanking it, and that was the game. That was just a few points. He went 40-15, I think it was, then he played a good point, and suddenly I'm a breakdown, him serving for the match, for the set. And he's got all the control. I'm hustling as much as possible, but that's all it takes sometimes between the guys who are very good and the guys who are good is that one break of serve in the set, that one or 2 points of concentration, or in my case that point was a little bit unlucky, but maybe a bit more better movement would have put myself in a better position. And as you can see here, another key point at 30 all, him putting away a winner and then hitting an ace.
Also guys, under 50% of you that watched last week's video are actually subscribed, so what are you doing? Go down there, subscribe, hit the bell icon while you're there, and also like the video. Now let's jump back into it.
Yeah, not much to say. It shows that the big players can hit big points and big shots on important points, and that's something that I definitely think has improved in my game, but can definitely still improve, is utilising those opportunities, those break points, those chances at 30 all to really put a dent in my opponent's armour, and to really find a way of getting more of those opportunities is going to be crucial in the future to winning more important matches. Because sometimes you might play an opponent and you might have 4 30 alls, and they might take all of those opportunities. Had you taken 2 of those, you might have then broken once, and that's the difference between winning and losing the match. So it's really fine margins at this highest level, but I was really enjoying myself out there on the court. As you can see, another important point here at 15-30. Not putting the smash away, that's a little bit painful, and him pushing the ball back, sun was right in the middle of the sky, so smashing was a little bit nerve-wracking, and that volley is just not good enough. I think a little bit in the wrong position, a little bit of nerves there, and he puts a return bang on the line, approaches up to the backhand, but I managed to find a Djokovic-esque passing shot and back to juice. This game was pretty long, obviously you're only seeing the highlights, but this game was maybe 10-15 minutes long, so there's a lot of back and forth juices, a few break points, a few game points. And eventually he gets a break point here, and have a little bit of a mental lapse in concentration. I try and go kick to his backhand, put him under a bit of pressure, but end up double faulting. And that's the second, obviously, game on serve that I've lost through. That was more due to me making a little bit of a lapse in concentration. And that's very frustrating now, kind of to watch that back. I found myself in a tricky situation here at 15-30 in my next service game, but I didn't want to let that previous game affect me. I missed that volley there, but eventually go 30-40, try to hit my spots on the serve, hit through the backhand, get a little bit lucky on that net cord. This was a huge point, but I managed to keep my composure. I want to make him serve it out. He might get a little bit nervous at 4-3, 5-4 potentially. I'm just really hoping for anything at this point, but he was really hitting the ball well. Getting another break point here on my serve, but going with the 1-2 punch inside out with no fear. I managed to save that point. I hit a very good serve on that out wide serve, and find the spot again down the tee, and putting that forehand unreturnable for him to hold. And that was an important game because that was a big momentum shifting game. Had he gone 4-1 up on serve, it would have most definitely been matched to him had I found a miraculous recovery somehow. And now it was just all about a dogfight, trying to find a way of getting through on his serve. As you can see, not quite doing enough there. Against most players that was maybe my point, but against this player it wasn't, and I lose that game, get a little bit lucky in this one, and this is all about serving it out to try and make him play for the match. But I was really enjoying myself out there on the court, and I really wanted to use this opportunity to just fight and play an opponent like this, and not give him anything, not give him any games where I'm just kind of shots like that. Obviously at 40 love down, I've got to go for my chances, but really just trying to be locked in and not give this opportunity away. You can see here at 40-15, just again putting that serve out to his forehand, putting a little bit of pressure and coming into the net. Him just trying to absolutely whip the ball but hitting it badly. And then here at 5-4, him serving it out. This is the ultimate game. He's one game away from into the first round and I'm one game away from losing. But at 15-love, he puts in a great serve out wide. I can't quite dip it down. 30-15, he puts a ball up the tee which literally springs over my head. And that was so disappointing. And here at 40-15, he's got 2 match points here, and it's all about the hustle. I didn't want to give up ever. That volley just wasn't good enough, and he puts this passing shot on the back of the line. And unfortunately, my hopes for this tournament of getting an ATP point were over.
Yes, guys, so it's been about an hour or two since my match. It's set in a little bit. I've just been thinking about it. You know, obviously not the result that I hoped for when I set out. Of course, a tough loss, frustrating loss with obviously the goal so close in reach. You know, I played a good opponent. I think that 2 games were the deciding factor in that match, and the higher up the level you go, the smaller differences there are. And I think that concentration wise, there were those 2 games where, you know, I gave him the match essentially, and that's as simple as it is. You know, against good players, you can't lack your concentration, you can't have a dip. Against a lot of the other players that I've played, you know, I can have a dip, I can let them break and break back, but against a good player, I can't. And I think that's, you know, one of the main lessons that I learned is when I'm playing my game and my level, I'm concentrated, I'm in the zone and I'm locked in, I can go toe to toe with these guys. A few improvements obviously on my backhand and return at the highest level tactically, I think will also make a huge difference. And yeah, it hurts, but we're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to keep improving, you know, going to the next tournament with a lot of confidence. You know, you've got to be proud of myself for winning 5 matches, getting the wild card in the first place. Losing by just 1 break in each set against the guys 500 is not bad for a week. You know, thank you for all of your guys' support. I never really get to say it, but thank you for all of you that are, you know, supporting me, watching the videos, following me on Instagram. It really means a lot in helping to support my journey and my dreams. So, you know, thank you to all of you that have done that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.